some of the events happening here at CNT. As always, lots going on here, so check the newsletter, check the website for detailed and updated information. Just a reminder, please place your cell phones on silent so as not to disturb our worship service. First, the 2019 Mahjong cards are here. Every card ordered supports sisterhood. Small cards are $8, large cards are $9. Please mail your check to the temple. Attention, Sandy Stolberg, no later than Friday, January 25th. The gift shop is giving 20 to 50% off on all Hanukkah merchandise. Come in and check it out. They are open at 11 whenever religious school is in session and 45 minutes ahead of the services we have on Friday evenings, and by appointment. Okay. Next Shabbat is birthday Shabbos. Don't forget to come to services and get your birthday blessing. Services begin at 7 next Friday evening. This Sunday, no, not this Sunday, next Sunday, January 20th. Please join the rabbi, the cantor, and the CNT choir as they join forces with the First American Methodist Episcopal Church. As a reminder, last spring, Rabbi Williamson came to our synagogue to speak at the first ever pulpit exchange. It's our turn to represent at their Episcopal Church. Services begin at 8:30 a.m. Again, that's Sunday, January 20th. Check out the blast from this morning's email for more details. Sunday, January 27th is the CNT Sisterhood Tu B'Shvat celebration. We will drink 4 cups of wine and ask 4 questions as we learn about the new year of the trees. Please RSVP no later than January 21st. Tickets are $10 and dessert will be served. Finally, mark your calendars for the weekend of February 8th and 9th. It's our scholar in residence when we welcome Rabbi Jeffrey Salkin. You may know him from his book, Putting God on the Guest List. Thank you goes to the Oscar Alterwitz Foundation for making this weekend possible. At the end of the services tonight, we got a special treat for the kids. So kids, be sure you come up to the Bema, see myself and Dell, and we're going to start a contest where everybody can win. So please come up at the end of the services. Thank you.
One, two. Good Shabbos, everyone. If you happen to be a new member this year, we have all these reserved seats for you. So if you're a new member, we wanted to honor you, and you please make your way forward. And don't forget, immediately after services, we are going to take a beautiful photo of all of our new members and the Shabbatones, who obviously are our congregants of the year. Now, I'll tell you a little bit my version of how the Shabbatones got started in a little bit, but very instrumental, pun intended, of how that you missed the rim shot. You can still do it. They won't remember the joke. They won't. You could do it again. Was my partner in crime at the time, Bella Feldman, and we created the band together. And it's been too long since Bella has graced our pulpit, and she has had a tremendous journey. And I don't know what we decided. Am I saying your journey, or are you saying your journey?
Since you stole my pun. So I left Las Vegas about 15 years ago. I currently live in beautiful Ashland, Oregon. For those of you that don't know where that is, it's a tiny town about this 15 miles north of the California border. My daughter Kara's 19. She's home with me. I served at a congregation there for about 10 years. And now Bella 2.0 is program manager for a small nonprofit. We provide mentors for youth ages 10 to 18. Okay, that's where I've been. Good enough? Okay, happy to be here now.
So, the music tonight will bring you back in time, roughly to the year 2000, when the Shabbatones were formed. This is the second version, revised version, of our original Shabbaton service. All right? Yeah, there was one version behind it. This was the second one, but they're pretty much the same. So we hope that this will bring you back to memory lane. You'll relive some of those melodies, and you'll see, well, what we've done with some of the newer melodies as well. So let's get started. Are you ready for Shabbos? All right, Shabbos.
Page 2. Tonight we gather with festive rejoicing to celebrate the conclusion of another week, to joyfully welcome Shabbat as a community. In lighting these Shabbat candles, we bless the sacred space and time that is God's gift to our people. Together. Adonai, may the light of these candles help inspire us to love you with all our hearts. May their warmth and glow radiate kindness, harmony, and peace among us all. May love and devotion bind us closer to one another and to you.
We'd like to honor Bella and Tracy Birch and Glory Rosenberger to join our cantor for the mitzvah of kindling the Shabbat lights. Teach me, God, to pray, to praise the splendor of ripe fruit, the wonder of a wrinkled leaf, the freedom to see, to feel, to breathe, to know, to hope, and even to know grief. Teach my lips blessing, song, and praise, when you renew your time each night, each dawn, so that my days will not repeat my yesterdays, to save my life from mere routine of all days gone. God spoke the fourth commandment with two different words. Zachor Shabbat, keep her positively before you. Shamor Shabbat, observe all her restrictions. Shamor v'Zachor, God proclaimed as one, as the eternal is one, and God's name is one, a name for eternity, for glory, and for praise.
Let us go forth to greet Shabbat, ever-flowing source of blessing, poured forth from the very beginning, last in creation, but first in the plan.
Ya la 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 lecha doji. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat neka bela.
Please remain standing. Page 6, our call to worship.
Your love, O God, is reflected in our ability to love together. Your compassion is reflected in the lives of the compassionate. Our ancestors were such people. Through their vision of you, they learned the laws of life.
May we be worthy to learn them too. Merciful God, open our hearts.
Merciful God, lead us to learning, that learning may lead us to deeds and lead us to teaching others.
May our eyes light up with Torah. May our hearts cling to mitzvot.
May our trust in you lead us to gladness and joy.
In peace, gather us from the corners of the earth and lead us proudly to the promised land.
For you have brought us close to your great name, to thank you and to say, you are one through deeds of love.
All praise to you, O God, who gives the Torah to the people Israel with blessing and love.
So we are going to just add a little bit of water and create an instant choir. Are you ready? I'm going to teach you a little three-part round for the Shema. I'm going to sing the first line, and then I want you to sing it back to me. And before you know it, we'll be having a magnificent choir. Ready? First part sounds like this. God is one, we are one, hearts listening in love. God is one, we are one, hearts listening in love. Keep it going. God is one, we are one, hearts listening in love. God is one, we are one, hearts listening in love. Okay, part two sounds like this. One heart listening. You try it. One heart listening. And second time it sounds like this. One heart listening. You try it. One heart listening. We'll put both of those together. One heart listening. One heart listening. One more time. One heart listening. One heart listening. Are you ready for this magnificence?
Yes.
Are you really ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll all start singing part one, and then you'll keep singing part one, and Cantor will lead this side in part two. Here we go. God is one, we are one, hearts listening in love. God is one, we are one, hearts listening in love. We keep going. One heart listening.
Make me proud.
One heart listening. One heart listening.
You will love Adonai with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day will be in your heart, be in your heart. You will teach them very gently to your children. You will think of them when you're sitting in your house, when you're walking by the way, when you're rising up, when you're rising up, and when you're rising up and you're rising up, you will love. You will love. You will love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You will love. You will find them like a sign upon your hand, and they will be frontlets between your eyes. You will write them on the doorpost of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates. You remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, and to your God you will love. You will love. You will love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You will love.
Page 10. Adonai Eloheinu, you call us partners. We will live one day at a time, performing signs and wonders for the benefit of others.
This we promise you.
You call us little lower than the angels. We will use our face and our hands to be your messengers.
To this we commit ourselves this day.
You tell us we are fashioned in your image. We will be this image. Live our lives by the most divine in us, and in this image listen to your words and do your will.
So we solemnly declare this day.
Your mitzvah opportunities await.
Give us strength, we vow to do your will, as by your light and guidance, our hearts and souls so move us.
The courage to let go of the door, the handle, the courage to leave the place whose language you have learned.
The courage to walk out of pain that is known into the pain that cannot be ended. Mathless walking into the wilderness, so they walked out of Egypt.
We Jews are all born of wanderers, who chose the desert over bondage, who walked into the strange and became strangers.
Who let go of everything but freedom, who ran, who revolted, who fought, who became over saving themselves.
The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. So we, like Moses, like Miriam, like the children of Israel at the shore of the sea, sing songs of joy. All right, gang, you know what to do. Here we go. All right, come on now. Come on, ladies, let's go. Kids, let's go.
Ner Tamid. la la.
If you didn't get up, you missed your Jewer size for today. Page 12, Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu Lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu Lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu Lechayim. Ushmor Tzeitenu, Uvoenu, Lechaim u'shalom, ve'ata Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu Lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu Lechayim.
Help us, O God, to lie down in peace, but teach us that peace means more than quiet.
That if we are to be at peace at night, we must take
Grant us the peace that comes from honest dealing, so that no fear of discovery will haunt our sleep.
of resentments and hatreds which rob us of the peace we crave.
Liberate us from enslaving habits which disturb us and give us no rest.
May we inflict no pain, bring no shame, and seek no profit by another's loss.
May we live so that we can face the whole world with serenity.
May we lie down in peace tonight and awaken tomorrow to a richer and fuller life.
We're going to do a little shoulder action. So if you didn't get your Jewer size, now's your chance.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat l'dor
Prayer, we are told, is a reaching up and a pulling down of angels by their legs. When we have them by our sides and have smoothed their ruffled feathers and donned our sunglasses to cope with their radiance, we hesitantly pose the question swelling within us, will you convey my prayers to the throne? And with the most angelic and enigmatic of smiles, the smile, in fact, of your pet cat, the angel disengages itself from your needy grasp and begins to rise, and pausing to hover just beyond sight and above prayer's reach, drops its ballast of heavy, unnatural supplications and floats ever higher, essence of prayer, cradled in its wings.
I'd like to call forward anyone in our bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah class to help us lead the Amidah.
Ah
We continue reading at our own pace through page 18. We complete your readings at that time. Be seated. Shabbatone service was created in part to bring a sense of joy to our worship services through the gift of music and camaraderie and friendship. But that which brings us joy also can bring us a measure of sorrow when things aren't going the way we would hope. When our most cherished people, our loved ones, are sick or ill, or when we think of people who face crises of the heart, of the mind, of addiction. And so we take a moment to say a Misha Berach, a prayer of hope and healing, and to think of those who are caregivers as well, that God might embolden them with patience and courage and strength. And so if there are those of you who would like to say the names of people special in your lives, please stand and say as many names as you would like, as we imagine a world so very different than today, one without sickness, one of wholeness and peace. And now we stand as a community in solidarity, arm in arm, one with the other, as we sing our special Misha Berach to the tune of Imagine.
Imagine there's a heaven. It's easy if you try. Beauty all around us. Surround us, Adonai. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no cancer. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to plague or harm us, and no addictions too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a prayer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will heal as one. Misha Berach Avoteinu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Refuah Shlema min hashamayim, Refuat hanefesh, Refuat haguf, Hashta'a kala, Ubizman kariv elomar amen. You may say I'm a prayer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will heal as one.
I came to the congregation in February of 1988. And when I came, there was an entire group of lay people. The congregation was very small, that were keeping this congregation going and vibrant. They'd been without a rabbi for a while, and they had this one layperson, Eileen Collins, who served as their pseudo-rabbi and trained the bar mitzvah kids and just seemed to be that voice of wisdom. And when it came time to conceptualize a new award for the congregation, one that was based not on how much someone gave in terms of money, but rather how much one gave from the heart and time, and we created this whole idea of congregant of the year, it was pretty easy. It was Eileen. She was our first. And thankfully, every year thereafter, it became harder and harder because there were so many good people who gave of their time because they love Congregation Ner Tamid. But our membership committee would meet, and somehow they would, in their collective wisdom, find that one individual, once in a while, a couple, that we could hold as role models. And for those of you who are new members, and there are many more than were able to come tonight, we had a good year this year. The congregant of the year is to serve as a role model to you. Because when you come into a congregation and you say, you know, what is this congregation doing for me? It's almost Kennedy-esque. Ask not what your congregation can do for you. Ask what you can do for your congregation, right? Because you get from this congregation what you put in, what you bring to it, and how you volunteer, and not just how you kvetch, but how you embrace with joy what could be, what should be, and what you want it to be for your family, for your children. This is all of our congregation, and it's stronger than any one building and stronger than any one individual. It is as strong as we are as a collective. And so when the committee met this year, they said this award is too big for one person, too big for two people. We got to honor an entire community, affectionately known as the Shabbatones. So give them their shout out. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to impose upon Sandy Stolberg's memory. Sandy, stand up. Who was it who gave the Shabbatones their name? We held a contest. And so there you have it. The history of Ner Tamid is officially corrected because I always thought it was Megan, but it was Sandy. All right. So I have done repentance for every time I've misstated. So I want to tell you a little bit about how the idea came, and then we'll proceed. So every rabbi has this great dream that every week, the congregation is going to be full like this. But the reality is, other than high holidays, it's not as full. And sometimes without the fullness of a congregation and you have a big room, the energy just wasn't there. So I was sitting in our big congregation on Emerson, and we really did not use our Beit Tefillah then at all. We might have, but we just didn't. So I could have 50 people and seating for 350, and it seemed kind of empty. We had a student rabbi, Neil Schuster, at the time. I don't know how many of you remember him. He was kind of hip. He had the shaved head and the earring, and I said to my wife, should I talk to him about that? She says, he's a big boy. He'll figure it out. He lost the earring, and one of his farewell gifts was the congregation gave him an earring. All right? So we're very progressive. All right. So I'm sitting there, and I think, what am I going to do? This is not working the way I want. And then I'm reading in the newspaper that there's a movie coming out called Keeping the Faith. There's a little article about a movie that was going to come out in the year 2000 starring Ben Stiller as a rabbi, Ed Norton as a priest, and Jenna Elfman as that pretty blonde love interest. How many of you saw the movie? All right? It was a pretty good movie. And at that time, Ben Stiller, was this hip Orthodox rabbi that was going to rejuvenate things, and his congregation didn't know what to make of him because he wanted all these jazzy melodies. And the idea intrigued me when I read the story that his role was based on an actual rabbi. Didn't say the name, but it said that it was an actual rabbi, and I found out that it was from B'nai Yeshurun congregation in New York City. And I researched it, and they were getting 1,000 people. I know it's Manhattan, but the congregation was dwindling down to 200 coming to services, And you may say, well, that's a lot, but not when you're a 1,000-family congregation. They weren't coming. So I flew there with my wife. It was in the summer, and they were using a dusty church. And believe it or not, they had over 1,000 people. And they had this music going that was very upbeat and very different, and it was a conservative synagogue, was not Reform. And there were these rabbis from South America that were revitalizing it, and eventually there was a book about their whole experience. So I came back and I said, if they can do it, we can do it. And then I researched some more, and in Los Angeles, they had hired Craig Taubman to do a service. They were only paying, don't listen, band, $5,000 a month. I said, if they could do it, well, what are we going to do? We don't have that kind of money. In fact, that's a good challenge. How do we do things without money, but we have heart? And so I researched the melodies, and I knew in my head that this was going to do it. And I just started listening to things. And Ira Spector, raise your hand, Ira. Ira was our ritual VP at the time, and he grew up at Temple Beth Shalom, but he became enamored here. He followed his friends, the Ungers, here, and that was his memories. You know, Temple Beth Shalom, classical Jewish melodies. Shalom Aleichem, da-da-da-da, right? So I gave him this new sound, and I said, listen to it, Ira, I'm so excited. And I call him up a couple days later, and I said, what do you think? He says, I don't think so, Rabbi. The whole thing. I said, Ira, do me a favor. He says, what's that? I said, listen again, and listen again, and listen again. And eventually, he overcame what in his mind was Jewish music, and it began to expand. And I said, we got to do this. We don't have a band. It's okay. We'll figure that out. We don't even know what to do. I said, Bella, this is the idea. Have you ever done a band before? She says, no. Okay, so no band, no experience, no money. We can do it. Now, by the way, I share that because sometimes we need more of that. We need to have the idea and the vision and the heart, and let us follow that, and then we can accomplish anything, right? Right? If we had $1 million, it's easy. Just pay for it. You've got to have heart, and let that heart bring the people. And so we came up with the melodies, and as people started meeting with me for various things, Mike Adler decides to get married. Mike, you're going to marry Tuette. Oh, that's great. Tell me a little bit about yourself. And what are some of your interests? And Mike says, I came off the road as a drummer. Oh, there's my drummer. Ira plays the guitar. This guy plays the drum. Bella, what other instruments do we need? And I just kept shopping around. I didn't know whether anyone was any good. Well, that's how the Shabbatones came together. They didn't know each other. They didn't know each other until they did. My buddy Alan, I told him the idea, and I knew Alan was in a band. And when I told you the idea, what'd you think, Alan? Don't tell the truth. He doesn't remember. That's the truth. You said, I'll be happy to be in the band, Rabbi. That's what you said. Well, I can't practice that much, but I'll do it, all right? So Alan was part of the original Shabbatones, and he revisits us tonight because he should be honored because he was part of that. And along the way, we had our Shabbatines, and this band has been going, started in the year 2000. So this is their 19th year. So they have been making great music for us. Now, the story continues, and I pass the microphone baton to Bella Feldman, my partner in crime. You got to get the mic.
I got it. You want to hear the genesis of the Shabbatones? In the beginning, there was a very wise Rebbe. He said, what am I going to do? I don't have enough people coming to shul on a regular basis. I have an idea. Let's form a band. And so he spoke to his partner in crime, And he said, Bella, I want a Shabbos band. And I said, Rabbi, are you kidding? He said, no, I'm serious. I want bass, I want drums, I want guitar, I want backup vocals, I want clarinet, I want everything you can put together. Can you do it? Of course I can do it, Rabbi. We can do anything. And so he said, don't worry, I've already started enlisting musicians, which he had. It was true. But when he told me who, I had to call. Who does someone call when they need to form a band and they've never done anything like that? Who do you call? No, not Ghostbusters. I should have thought of that, though. No, I called my first Jewish song leader that taught me to sing from the time I was 6. I respect her. Isn't that cool? I called Ira. Glory was in my choir. I knew this one from here and that one from I didn't know you, Mike. No. I didn't know. Ed, had we started playing together yet? No. I don't think so.
Well, you called me up when Mola's Temple called. Next day you said, you want to play the piano?
Did I? Oh, yeah. So, Rabbi and I just started enlisting everyone we could get. We started to meet and play together and have a wonderful time, like right off the bat. Jay, you and I had done some things together, right? We used to do duets for services. So this idea became very organic and very beautiful from the get-go. From the moment we started making music together, there was a synergy. There was this collaboration that was like mishpocha. It was instant family. And it was just add water and you have a band. When I came in last night for our rehearsal, the strangest thing happened. It felt like it was last month that we had played together. And it was a little weird. It was wonderfully weird, but I couldn't get over it after I went home and thought about the ease and grace and beauty and love that we all still feel for one another and how natural it feels to play together. So, Rabbi, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for the idea. Thanks for inviting me to be here with you. It fills my heart, really, to see a commitment like this and this seed that was planted for so long to have it continue in the way that it does. And thank you, Cantor, for your gracious generosity in sharing the bima with me. Right before services we were talking, I said, remind me when you were little and you were growing up here, you know, did you sing in the junior choir? And you said, yeah. I said, she said, you used to pull me up and have you sing Misha Berach. And I said, I did? That's great. And now you've continued the tradition. And so to see you and to see you guys come up and sing with the cantor, wow, it's a beautiful thing. L'ador vador, from generation to generation. Thank you. Thank you all. Shabbat shalom. Oh, now I pass the baton.
So this truly is a special band and a special story because we are L'ador vador. We're passing it down from generation to generation. And about 19 years ago, a 15-year-old me remember sitting in the social hall section of the Emerson CNT because it was almost as full as High Holidays, and the sanctuary was sold out. We were attending not only to bring in Shabbat, but also to watch our dearest family friend, Brad Torchin, rock out with his guitar, and this new attraction at the synagogue, the Shabbatones, a band. It was awesome, and I loved it, and I wanted to be a part of it, and I sat in awe of Bella and the band and had a twinkle of hope that it might be my future someday. 5 years ago this week, I came back to CNT, an almost vested cantor, to audition to come home to this pulpit and showcase a special service I'd written called Beatles Shabbat. I'm sure you're familiar. I was honored to perform and be a conduit of prayer with the Shabbatones. And since then, Beatles Shabbat has become what it was always destined to be. Each musician in this band is uber talented and true mention. I am so honored to be a part of this band. Colleagues often ask me, how did you manage to put together such a successful monthly volunteer band at your synagogue? And the answer I always give is genuine kindness from talented congregants and being lucky enough to be a cantor where the seeds were sown well before my time. My dream is to continue dreaming big. That's why we're a good, we don't say partners in crime, we say partners in prayer. I don't know. And I want to instill Jewish music into all of your hearts and souls, along with my incredible bandmates, for decades to come. Decades. My promise to you, to all of you, is that if you come to this sanctuary, we will surround you with meaningful music. They are the gift to this community, and I am grateful to make prayer song every month, with each and every Shabbatone. I believe we have a presentation.
Hi. Yes. I need everybody over here. Come on over. We're going to present. So with me is Barney Tabak. Barney is our Vice President of Membership, and we've got a number of presentations here for everybody. Thank you. I've got to look at each name. By the way, I remember being with Bella at camp when Ira was our song leader. So Bella and I are the same age, and Bella and I were campmates, so together. So, okay, we're going to go through each person, and what we're going to do is I'm going to take one of them out. I just wanted to show you. It says Congregation Ner Tamid, Distinguished Congregant of the Year. It shows 5779 in 2018, but it's 19 now. And this is Glory's, so she's going to give it first. And it says the world is sustained by three things: Torah, worship, and loving deeds. And each person gets this. And Glory, come on up. They all say glory on it. And they all say glory, exactly. They just repeated each one. So we have Glory, we have Tracy Birch. I'm going to bring up each person. Thank you. Eddie Birch. Where's Eddie? There's Eddie. Alan Molaski, who was not in the picture because he hasn't been in the Shabbatones for a while, but he is an official Shabbatone, so he is getting it, yes. Emeritus, Shabbatone Emeritus, thank you. David Rubenstein, where are you, David? There you go. We've got Brad Torchin, the original with Ira. Michael Adler, there's Michael. Of course, Jay Poster. Jay is right here. And you guys see him all, he wears the whole the whole Beatles thing, every year. David Miller is here. Thank you, David. Thank you. And then we've got Ira Spector, of course. The original. Ira, by the way, of course, hates this story, but I learned to swim by Ira throwing me in the pool and saying, go swim, at camp with Bella. And I hated him for like a couple years. But I love him now. So anyway, with that, Barney, did you want to say a few words? Or?
Well, I just wanted to thank the volunteers, the part that you give all your time and effort to practice, perform. It's a very important part of the congregation, and it should be noted that it's a lasting impression that you give to all the congregants every day. Thank you.
You want to say something?
I would. I wasn't part of the program, but Rabbi, I guess, enlisted me. I don't really remember. But it's been an amazing experience for me because I was one of those people that only went to temple 3 times a year. And it got me here every month. And more than that, all of a sudden I started to learn the prayers. I never really knew what the prayers were. It was kind of a blur. And I know the prayers, and it's brought real meaning to a service for me. And it's really enriched my life. So thank you for inviting me.
All right, Ira, come forth. Ira is going to speak on behalf of the Shabbatones.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And thank you so much for coming here and in the amount you have. We're so happy to see you all here. Very proud. Rabbi Axelrod had asked me to say a few words about accepting this wonderful honor on behalf of the Shabbatones, words that reflect our thoughts, our feelings, our reactions to being afforded this great honor that we so appreciate. Before I go any farther, the Shabbatones would like to thank CNT President Mindy Unger and the Board of Directors of Congregation Ner Tamid for this very kind and coveted honor that our congregation gives out only once per year, and usually to an individual who has exemplified a high degree of volunteerism and devotion to participating in furthering both spiritual values as well as tikkun olam values, repairing the world that the rabbi has taught us. By the way, it made me so proud. Yesterday, I happened to be at the Government Center downtown to watch fellow congregant Justice Elisa Kadish be sworn in as a Nevada Supreme Court judge. Justice Kadish was given this award by fellow congregant Justice Michael A. Cherry. And if that's not enough, Rabbi Sanford Axelrod gave the invocation to the entire ceremony yesterday in the swearing-in process. Wow, talk about CNT pride. If that's not enough, we've just had fellow congregant Jackie Rosen become our next United States Senator. Talk about pride of being in a congregation. The Shabbatones' journey to this point includes having formed our group in 2000 with our wonderful cantorial soloist at that time, Bella Feldman, as you've heard, with whom we are so fortunate tonight to share the bima with such pride, warmth, happiness, and appreciation. Bella, I know I speak for the group when I say that we couldn't have gotten off the ground like we did without your leadership, without your sweet personality, and without your musical talents and your musical passion. This has really been an example of finding our interpersonal connections, our mutual respect for one another, our musical collaboration, and the beautiful sense of finding our musical beshert. Musical groups don't last as long as 19 years, let me tell you. How long did the Beatles last? 10 years. We'd also like to take a moment to thank our previous cantorial soloist, Philip Goldstein, for the approximately decade of leadership with the Shabbatones. If anyone remembers, we particularly have fond memories of performing 2 Shabbatone rock concerts to help raise money for CNT programming. And we think fondly of and thank Philip. As you all know, more recently, and approximately 4 years ago, we were quite blessed with a new sense of musical and spiritual leadership, musical creativity, and unbridled musical enthusiasm, thanks to our wonderful and treasured cantor, Cantor Jessica Hutchings. Cantor Hutchings' creativity, such as in creating the Beatles Shabbat, which is now nationally known and requested by synagogues all over the United States so they can play it in their congregations. She continues to assist us in incorporating new and contemporary musical selections of exciting new upcoming Jewish artists within the framework of our traditional melodies that we have always played and loved playing for you here in Shabbat services at CNT. We will always remember having performed the Beatles Shabbat service in Beverly Hills, by the way, at Carol Burnett's old home. By the way, we hope you're enjoying some of the new and contemporary Jewish music that we play on occasion. I hope you're enjoying it all. So how can I explain how meaningful this experience has been to all of us, to the Shabbatones? Well, if you add up the years, we're talking approximately 19 years of a core group being together, year after year, Shabbat after Shabbat, you understand there's something special that keeps us together. And I'm not just talking about the Chinese food we have before every service. When you stop and think about it, the Beatles, who are musical idols to so many of us, as I said, we're only together for 10 years. We've been together for 19 years. I know I can speak for the group when I say that we shared a wonderful connection to one another, a respect for one another, a respect and love for each other's families, each other's Jewish identities, our individual musicianship, and more importantly, each other's commitment to our volunteerism to this congregation, Congregation Ner Tamid, and what it means to most of us, which is witnessing the congregation's visible inspiration and enjoyment of the music that we love to play for you all. Lastly, thank you to Rabbi Axelrod for your continued vision, your support, and for never ceasing to surprise us by often changing the doggone service musical playlist on us right before we play on the very last minute. But Rabbi, as you've learned, we're happy to do it. And we're happy to continue providing the appropriate rim shot, and Mike was going to hit one for us, after many of the Rabbi's humorous moments, remembering the first time when he turned a crimson red after the first rim shot. I know I can say from the entire group how much we appreciate and value this coveted honor, and we will remember it for the rest of our lives. And we look forward to continuing to introduce new and promote new inspirational and moving Jewish musical selections for the congregation for years to come. I'd also like to mention over the years we've added band members here and there of a much younger generation, of which we would like to pass the torch eventually. And the rabbi referred to them, as he said, as the Shabbateens, and I can't go on without mentioning who they were. Matt Birch had played with us on keyboards. Tracy Birch had replaced her brother and now plays both trombone and keyboards with us. Gabriella Giancaspro came in and played the flute for a season with us. Taylor Wachman played guitar with us, and Sean Bailey also played guitar. And just one word of thanks to Alex Hill and to Sam Friend. Alex, and our sound technicians who have been so incredibly important to helping us sound good for you. And all the congregants and volunteers that have assisted us when we've been in a crunch and we needed some additional musicianship or other assistance on multiple occasions. We love playing the music for you, and we're so proud and happy to accept this honor. Thank you very much.
One more thing, which is every year when we go to the membership committee and we have the names of the people that we want to consider for Congregant of the Year, there's lots of discussion. There's, what about this person? What about that person? Somebody had mentioned to me the Shabbatones. The second that I brought it up to the membership committee, our membership committee meeting was all of 2 minutes. It was absolute, and I just wanted to let you know that there was never a question. It was instant that we wanted to honor the Shabbatones. So thank you, all of you. You're absolutely awesome.
So squash those rumors. It was 5-4. Squash them, squash them. Congregants of the year, those of you who have had that honor, we ask that you please stand. If you are a past recipient of this award. We would like to ask you to come forward on the bima. Past recipients of this award, please come forward on the bima so that you might partake in the honor of the Aleinu on page 23.
Please rise.
We have a special announcement. I want to call upon Don Ross, who is our Administrative Vice President, to share with you a few thoughts.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom. What a great night. Welcome home, Bella, and congratulations to the Shabbatones. Your music continues to soothe our ears, and your prayers warm our hearts. You're very well deserved this evening. Another special announcement is I'm pleased on behalf of the board to let everybody know that Roberta Unger has been promoted to our managing director of the temple. A special note that Roberta has been here, I guess, just as long as the Shabbatones. So Roberta moved to Las Vegas in 1967 from New York and married Mike Unger in 1975, and they met through the Jewish singles group. Mike came with 2 kids, then 3 kids, and with Mike and 2 grandkids. Roberta volunteered 20 years ago in 1996 after her kids were out of religious school, and then became part of our staff 18 years ago as administrative to Jackie Fleekop. She then became program director, and she's kind of a jack of all trades. And some of you might say, well, isn't she already managing director? Because she does everything around here. But tonight it is official. So Mazel Tov, Roberta. Congratulations. Thank you for all you do, and we look for great things from you. Thank you, everybody.
Turn to page 24. We think of those who have been a part of our temple family, our lives. And we cherish their memories. We think of Stephen Spector, Michael Kritzler, Bernice Bond Arnold, Maria Siebert, and Samuel Smith. We recall the yortsites of Raymond Marvin Ackerman, Martha Ballin Kahn, Sheldon Barnett, Claire Bass, Lawrence Beer, Seymour Blumenthal, Samuel Cohen, Leo Coward, Raphael DeValley, Osias DeWald, William Feldman, Ruth Getzel, Marilyn Gorbina, Hope Wickler Hirsch, Bernice Hirsch, Dora Israel, Seymour Joseph, Laura Kahn, Stephen Kolodner, Selma Katz, Joseph Lafer, Natalie Marcus, Robert Marcus, Jerry Miller, Isaac Noctigel, Melvin Sanoff, Bill Schlesinger, Michael Sinderman, Florence Stein, Aaron Stolberg, Sadie Wagrick, Miriam Waldbaum, Molly Waltman, Annette Weinstein, Myra Wolf, and Abram Zone. If you would like to recall the name of someone who was not mentioned, please stand and say their name. Think of all these and others who have touched our hearts as we rise to recite our Kaddish prayer. Yit Gadol, Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bialma, Divrach, Hirute, Vyamlich, Malchute, V'chayechon, Vyomechon, V'chayedachol Be Yisrael, Bagalav, Izman Kari, Vyamru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah, Mevorach, Leolam, Omei, Maya, Yit Barach, V'yish Tabach, V'yit Ba'ar, V'yitramam, V'yit Naseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei Kusha, Brichu, Leila Minkol, Birchata, V'shirata, Tush Bechata, V'nechemata, Damiram, Bialma, V'yamru, Amen. Shloma Rabba Min Shammai V'chaim, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'yamru, Amen. Say Shalom B'imromav, Say Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'yamru, Amen. You may be seated. We're reviving a new tradition tonight. If you are in our religious school from K through 12, we want you to come up and take one of these cards. The cards will stay here, and the ushers will punch them, one punch per service, 2 punches for Shir Shabbat, and you will get some instructions, but there's going to be prizes along the ways as you meet certain goals. All right? So make sure, if you're in religious school, that you come up and go see Del. Del, here you go. Go see Del. All right. Last thing, real quick. If I were to tell you of, this is important, if I were to describe to you a Muslim country, 96% Muslim, that had open diplomatic ties with Israel, had a flourishing, embracive Jewish community, would you be able to name one? Azerbaijan. And the Council General of Azerbaijan is going to be our special guest and tell us this unique story. They do not tolerate Jews. They embrace them as fellow citizens. And with the fall of the USSR, they made sure that everything that was taken from their Jews was restored to their Jewish community. It's an incredible story. The Council General will be our guest on February 6th. Council General Nassimi Aghayeb. It'll be on a Wednesday night. I need a full house, all right? It's important that we show our love and support for this country, Azerbaijan. All right, new members, we ask that you rise. If you're a new member, we want to call you to the bima for the mitzvah of the Kiddush. And as you come up, please come on up. This service, the dinner, the honoring of the Shabbatones, it is also your honor as well. It is to get you percolating to think of how you want to become involved in our congregation and in our community. It is a statement of how cherished you are as new members and the ability that you have to bring your special gifts to congregation Ner Tamid. So please take a little bit of wine. May its sweetness reflect your experience, not only of Shabbat, but of your being a part of your family that you call congregation Ner Tamid.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi
lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Mazel tov to all our new members to the Shabbatones. We are so delighted to welcome you again officially as part of our community. Please stay up for our final song if you so choose. It is going to be a blast from the past, Od Yavo and One Love. And I remind you, immediately following services, if you are a new member and you are our honorees, the Shabbatones, stay right here. We're taking our historic photo. Everyone else, we ask that you go out through the side door, return your prayer book, that we might use it again in 18 years, and go down the hall. You missed that rim shot. Go down the hall, and you will be greeted by the official food of our Shabbaton band, which is Chinese food. All right. Make sure there's enough for those Shabbatones. That is for people, by the way, who have made reservations. Here we go. Od Yavo. Hit it, Belle.
Shalom Aleinu, Odibo Shalom Aleinu, Odibo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Odibo Shalom Aleinu, Odibo Shalom Aleinu, Odibo Shalom